Have you ever noticed how a simple hug can feel electric, as if it speaks a language that words never could? Most people overlook the power hidden in those fleeting seconds, not realizing that attraction isn't just built through conversation or charm, it's silently communicated through the body. In a single embrace, a woman's subconscious signals vulnerability, trust, and openness, and these subtle cues can create an almost instantaneous magnetic pull if recognized and responded to correctly. What most men fail to understand is that it's not about force or strategy, it's about presence, perception, and resonance. Today, we're going to explore the hidden dynamics of a hug, the unconscious weaknesses that reveal themselves in subtle ways, and how the interplay of vulnerability and confident response can shift attraction in ways you've probably never noticed.
Vulnerability is rarely overt. It is often whispered through the subtlest of signals, and in the context of a hug, it becomes almost palpable. The human body communicates emotions that the conscious mind often cannot articulate, and during an embrace, these hidden cues are magnified because the physical proximity bypasses rational filters and speaks directly to the subconscious. When a woman allows herself to soften her posture, to loosen the natural tension in her shoulders, or to slightly tilt her head toward the other person, she is demonstrating trust in a language far older than words. These micro-expressions and minor gestures, often overlooked by those untrained in observing emotional nuance, convey a readiness to be emotionally present, a temporary lowering of defenses that reveals her inner state. The slight relaxation of her hands against the back of the person she is hugging, the soft exhale that escapes unconsciously, the almost imperceptible shift in her weight toward the other individual, all signal that she is allowing herself a momentary surrender to the connection. These moments are powerful because they occur outside deliberate thought. They are not calculated moves but spontaneous reflections of her subconscious comfort level and openness. Understanding this subtle vulnerability requires more than just observation. It requires a presence that mirrors calm confidence, a receptivity that communicates emotional stability without overwhelming the moment. A man who can recognize these delicate cues and respond appropriately does not manipulate or pressure. He resonates. By simply maintaining grounded composure, by reflecting a sense of safety and awareness, he amplifies the natural magnetic pull that emerges from her openness. This interaction demonstrates how attraction is not a matter of grand gestures, but of perceiving and honoring the unspoken language of emotional exposure. In these fleeting seconds, the interplay between her subconscious signals and his attuned presence creates a psychological feedback loop that enhances the sense of intimacy. The hug becomes more than a physical contact. It becomes a mirror for emotions, a canvas where trust and attraction are painted through movement, tension, and release. In recognizing these subtle indications of vulnerability, the moment transforms into a profound signal of connection that, when met with awareness and steadiness, can shift perception and feelings in ways that words alone cannot achieve. A hug operates on a level far deeper than mere physical contact. It is a complex form of nonverbal communication that conveys intentions, emotional states, and receptivity without a single word being spoken. The body in these moments becomes a transmitter of subconscious signals, and the subtleties of proximity reveal volumes about attraction and trust. Slight adjustments in weight, the way a woman subtly leans in, or the micro shifts of her posture communicate levels of comfort and interest that often escape conscious awareness. These movements are not consciously performed. They arise from instinct biology and an emotional calibration that reflects her internal state. When observed attentively, These signals provide a map of her openness and receptivity, allowing the other person to respond in ways that harmonize with her unspoken communication. The exchange during a hug is therefore a dynamic, almost imperceptible dialogue, where the rhythm of breathing, the gentle pressure of contact, and the spatial orientation of the bodies create a conversation between subconscious minds. Each microaction carries meaning: a slight pause before release, a momentary tightening of the arms, the direction of the head, the angle at which the torso aligns, all convey trust, desire, and engagement. The impact of these subtle cues is magnified by their unconscious nature. They bypass rational defense mechanisms and speak directly to emotional perception. Recognizing and responding to this nonverbal language requires a level of attentiveness and presence that transcends superficial interaction. It is the awareness of these micro-signals, the ability to perceive and respect them without forcing or rushing, that creates the conditions for deep emotional resonance. A hug thus becomes a crucible where attraction can shift almost instantaneously, as subconscious recognition of safety, acceptance, and mutual interest aligns between two individuals. In this context, proximity is not neutral. It is charged with psychological significance. The slightest adjustment or hesitation is interpreted subconsciously, shaping perceptions of compatibility, warmth, and trust. Understanding the unspoken dialogue of closeness transforms what might seem like an ordinary gesture into a powerful tool for connection, revealing that the dance of attraction is often played out silently, in the micro movements that speak louder than words, and in the shared space where presence and awareness create emotional gravity. The hidden vulnerability revealed in a hug is only one side of the equation. The response it elicits is equally critical, and confidence is the subtle force that transforms a fleeting moment into a powerful catalyst for attraction. A woman's subconscious openness is amplified when met with steady composure, when the person she embraces communicates through presence rather than words that he is emotionally grounded and secure. Confidence in this context is not arrogance or performative dominance. It is the quiet assurance that one can hold space for another without judgment, without rushing, and without the need to fill silence with speech. When a man maintains calm, deliberate posture, a relaxed tone of breath, and attuned awareness, he signals reliability and emotional stability, which subconsciously reassures her that her temporary vulnerability is safe, legitimate, and respected. This interplay of her subtle surrender and his measured presence creates a magnetic tension that the mind interprets as attraction, a force that emerges from the alignment of comfort, trust, and psychological attunement. Even the smallest gestures, a slight, confident tightening of the arms, the pacing of release, the steadiness in eye contact before or after the hug communicate a level of awareness that amplifies her receptivity. The moment becomes a silent dialogue, where her hidden openness meets the quiet power of his stability, and in this intersection, attraction is heightened almost instantaneously. The hug is no longer simply physical. It becomes a psychological mechanism that deepens connection, where unspoken cues are read with precision and mirrored through subtle, controlled responsiveness. Recognizing this principle allows one to move beyond surface-level gestures and into the realm of meaningful emotional dynamics, where the balance of vulnerability and confidence defines the intensity of interpersonal magnetism. By maintaining attuned awareness and composure, the individual engaging with her can transform a brief embrace into a moment of psychological resonance.
one that communicates understanding, respect, and desire without a single word, and in doing so, triggers an instinctive recognition of compatibility, security, and attraction that is felt more than observed, remembered more than described, and registered at the deepest level of human perception. The moments we often dismiss as ordinary, a brief hug, a gentle lean, a soft exhale, carry layers of psychological meaning that go far beyond physical contact. Recognizing these cues, responding with calm confidence, and allowing the natural flow of emotional exchange transforms a simple gesture into a profound experience of connection and attraction. It's in these silent, fleeting interactions that true intimacy is revealed, and understanding them gives you insight into human behavior at its most instinctive and powerful level. A hug is never just a hug. It is a doorway into the unspoken language of desire, trust, and magnetic attraction. And the more you observe and attune, the more you'll see how subtle presence can reshape the dynamics of connection.